Ink-a-dink, 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 ink-a-dink. Wow!
Oh, I must have blanked out again. Oh. Oh. I had this dream that the Super Bowl was over. Somehow the Patriots managed to come back from 19 points back. And we ended up somehow in something called the BuddhaCat Brewery. And of all places, Shanghai, China. Well, if we did the show, I hope we got in, if we were there and we did a show, which I don't recall doing, I hope we got in a couple of good words for BM baked beans. The original baked beans, and a blessed baked bean Sunday morning to you, all of you out there. Yeah, the environs look like we might be in Shanghai, and there's a stench of beer all over the place. So we're in a brewery, and there's a bunch of cats running around too. So I'm guessing, and boxes too. So I'll take that as a sign that we're at the BuddhaCat Brewery. Not the one in, remember we used to go hang out at that place right on the Stanford-Greenwich border. I went there a couple times with Marucci, and somehow I remember talking to Marucci. Oh, man. Tom? Yeah. I wonder which one of us started this phone call, because there's a couple of minutes worth of Roman charges between Friday night and Sunday morning. Let's see, do we still have Duran? Except Duran's drinking tequila at an undisclosed location in Panama, if he's still alive. I think he is. And, yeah. Sugar Ray Leonard, who had two matches with Roberto Duran, one that was real and one imagined. The real one, Duran ran circles around him and made a fool out of Leonard in the brawl in Montreal in the Olympic Stadium. And the other one was I don't know, somewhere else, and Duran didn't train, didn't care, ate like a pig the night before the fight, then had to heave it all up in order to make the weight on the day of the match, and was about as meek as a kitten at that point, and still managed to hang in there a while until finally his legs started to tell him, look Roberto, we're your legs. We don't care what you do, but we're going home. Apparently they did, and Duran was left with the rest of his body, and finally said no mas, and that was the he didn't say no mass. I mean, this is Sunday morning, so it could have been, for religion's sake, he could have been saying no mass, because he didn't want to go to Sunday mass. But the way the story's told, the way it played out in the news reports, was that he said no mas and went like that and walked away, and that was the end of the fight. So, but that's the one that doesn't really count too much, because all the excuses that we came up for Duran that he came up with, and then we've repeated those excuses ad nauseum for the last 30 years. So here we are. We're in Shanghai, China, in the BuddhaCat Brewery. I think it was the BuddhaCat Grill that we used to go to, because I remember a couple times we went there with Marucci, and we saw our good friend Ratso play, and the you guys are going to have to check this out because we haven't been there in a long time. The Boxing Cat Grill right on around the Post Road, right on the Stamford Old Greenwich border. If it's still there, and if our friend Ratso and his band are still playing there, and then we'll go see him again. So we'll have to reach out to Ratso. He was on Progressive Soup. I don't know, 5 years ago, and hoping to get him back. He did the most amazing version of Sympathy for the Devil on request. So all right, so what's this all about? It's a mirror. What do you got in mind? What's this handheld mirror for? I mean, what's the point of it? I mean, I can start flashing so I can blind the camera. So I can blind the fish behind the camera. So I can blind myself. Basil said, said, look, Chumley, we got a lot of ideas for shows, but this is the one we're doing this blessed Sunday morning. Said, remember back in the old days when you were a kid and you used to watch a show called Romper Room? Yeah, I remember that. I remember Romper Room. And matter of fact, yeah, she had a mirror. She had a magic mirror. I don't think it had any glass in it. I think it was just like a hoop that she could look through and reach out to all the kids in the audience. And she never called out my name once. I mean, I watched that show every time it was on, waiting to hear. And I can't think of her name because I'm so annoyed. But she never called my name out once. I mean, she called out Tommy and Billy and Jane and George and Gloria, and she called out every name you could imagine through that mirror. And every kid that went by that name knew that she was reaching out to them personally. Yeah. It was extremely frustrating. I mean, it wasn't back in those days. We didn't hardly have telephones, so really you couldn't even call and say, hey, remember me? I'm watching your show every time. Could you mention my name once? And certainly couldn't text her, couldn't Facebook her, couldn't reach out to her through the internet. There was no romperroom.com. There was no on Facebook Romper Room. Although I bet if you look on, I got a pretty good suspicion that if you go onto YouTube, don't do it now though because you're watching us. If you go onto YouTube and you, okay, Basil said, meow. Said, that's right, don't change the channel, folks. Stay with us. You can look up Romper Room on YouTube another time. You can find us on YouTube in the meantime. Kristin40, Kristin, or on Basil's own Facebook page, Basil BuddhaCat. And you can watch Basil BuddhaCat Presents. That was tepid. Hold on, let me try again. Oh, I'm left-handed. Basil BuddhaCat Presents. Better. Okay, and you can watch all our shows either on YouTube or on Facebook. We've only done about 300 shows so far, so you haven't watched the show before. You got some serious watching to do. It's kind of like when Kristen and I started watching this show called Dexter, and somewhere hanging around. Hold on. Even Dexter looked out through the magic mirror and called our names. And there you go. See, Dexter. Okay, we watched him, and we started watching him one day, and the show was pretty interesting. So we had nothing to do for about a week and a half. We weren't scheduled with anything for about a week and a half. So 24/7 for a week and a half later, and we had watched every episode, 8 years worth of episodes. So, okay. So, at any rate, so we got the mirror. And we're going to be better. We're going to be better than Romper Room was. Matter of fact, hold on. Basil said, meow, 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 meow. So Basil said, we're going to call it Rumpus Room. Because, Romper Room is trademarked, so we can't call it Romper Room. So we're going to call it, oh, I got one on the line. See the line bending? I got a catfish. Okay. Couldn't reel it in. So, we're going to do better. Our Rumpus Room, now, trademark, instead of Romper Room, trademark. Okay, well, that's Walter BuddhaCat down there on the floor, and she's not going to come up and she's not going for the red bait. We can't red bait her because this is not 1954. These are not the McCarthy trials. Okay. Well, okay. We're going to be giving you one of these awards, Walter. It's our Lion-Sized Hershey's Kiss Award, which we, quick refresher course, Basil and I went on a safari in the veldt in Africa, and there's literally thousands of these things lying around. And we figured that they were lion-sized Hershey's Kisses because we saw a lot of lions roaming around. And so Basil started picking these up. And he's got a pretty fair strength in his left paw. Right paw's not bad either. Not quite ambidextrous, but his left paw. So Basil starts picking these up and he starts flinging them. And they fly through the air, they hit the Atlantic Ocean, and skip. One last skip, 935 feet above sea level, and they're in our front yard in Bethel, Connecticut. And when we got home, we picked them up and had about 100 of them that made it over. And didn't rain, thankfully, while we were there. It didn't rain here in Bethel, and if it did, there would have been we would have been giving out mushroom awards too. So we had these, and we've been giving these out. And out of about 100 so far, we well, look at that. Okay. I guess the line's not in the water, but the fish, the catfish are biting. So Basil's flinging these back, and we got about 100 of them. About 100 of them. So she pulled the line back in the water with her. Oh my God. Well, the fish got us that time. The catfish got us. So we have 100 of these, and Basil starts giving them out periodically. And out of 100 so far, we've given out 21 of them. And maybe 25. And 21 of them, amazingly enough, have gone to the same individual. And are we going to give out another one today? Basil said, Lion-Sized Kiss, meow. Say, yeah, but we're gonna give out another Lion-Sized Hershey's Kiss right now, but we're not giving out to Drumpf, because Drumpf's got 21 of them so far, and they're probably some of them are nestled in his Gucci's shoes in his apartment in New York, and some of them might be actually wrapped around his bathrobe that he seems to wander around the White House, which he has renamed the Pure White House, and so we're going to give we're going to give it out to a different person today. We're going to give it out to the former head of Dunbar News. Is that Dunbar News? Is that news? Is that correct? Is that really what it's called by? Basil said, on this show, this is what it's called. So, even on a Sunday morning? Okay. So, says, this one's going out to Steve Bannon. And we had Steve on last week's Superb Owl press conference. You have to look that one up if you want to see Steve Bannon refusing to answer questions, refusing to get any questions from pretty much any news media outlet because it wasn't appropriate. And you had the quarterback and the coach for both teams, for the Patriots and the Falcons, and you had a guy named Martellus. No, it wasn't Martellus. His first name was Martellus. And he's a wide receiver for the New England Patriots. And Martellus Bennett. Still got the cheat sheet from last week. That apparently followed us all the way to Shanghai, China. And the Boxing Cat Brewery. Undoubtedly trademarked internationally. So this time we're giving one out to Dunbar News and to Steve Bannon, and it's for you, buddy. Here it comes. So, Romper Room, okay? And we're not going to make the same mistake that they made on Romper Room. We're not going to just call out. Did you notice they never called out? Well, you weren't around, but to you folks who are in the audience that are approximately 63-ish, they never called out any names like Jaquan. They never called out a Guan. They never called out a Shaquille. They never called any of those kind of names out. It was always, I don't know, let's say, white names. Matter of fact, no Italian, no Giuseppes, no Luigis, no Ians, nothing ethnic at all, not even Irish. It was all pretty much straight down the line, waspy kind of kids' names, and all of them except for David, apparently. So, again, we're not going to make that mistake. So, you got a note here, Basil. Basil said, yeah, I got to leave you notes, otherwise how could you run the show? And I can't run it for you. So at any rate, okay, the note says the name of Basil's show is not Rumpus Room. It's actually Romper Room. Because we're going to reach out to people that deserve to hear from us. Romper Room. Okay. Is that going to go by? Can we use the words Romper Room as long as we have two other words in front of Romper Room? Basil said, could be. Said, could be. We're going to give it a try and see if it works. But in the meanwhile, we got big legal backup now. We've got a corporate sponsor, BM Baked Beans, who are we ever going to get back our other sponsors? I mean, I know we had. I remember we had PA&W Root Beer, Paw Root Beer, not A&W Root Beer, but PA&W Root Beer. And we had, one time we had those lion-sized Hershey's Kisses as a corporate sponsor. We also had the little chocolate thing it was about this size, and finally melted after it had been sitting here on the table for about 3 years. It finally melted. But we had the Hershey's Kisses, we had the lion-sized Hershey's Kisses, we had pretty much everything Hershey, and we lost that account because Basil kept saying, this goes along with the with PA&W root beer. Basil kept saying, hey kids, you know why? You know what proof you want? You want proof. You want evidence. You want cold hard evidence that PA&W root beer is my favorite beverage, and that Hershey's is my favorite candy bar? Just look at my litter pan. Apparently that didn't go over well with them, did it? I mean, we lost Star Kids Tuna because you kept saying something about it wasn't going to be tell them Charlie sent you anymore. It was going to be tell them Basil sent you, and then you made some remark about the ingredients, about it being like 90% water, and about how it had all kinds of preservatives in it and stuff, and you had that lotion, that hand lotion from Abbott Labs. I don't remember the name of that anymore, but we lost that because you kept calling up Abbott Labs on Sunday morning and calling it, first of all, you called it Rabbit Labs as if some reference to animal testing, and kept asking them about the tube, which said 50% more. And you kept asking them, 50% more what? And amazingly, they were in the labs working on Sunday morning when we called from our show, but we never got an answer that was satisfactory to Basil, and consequently we never got any more cha-ching from Abbott Labs. So, okay. We're going to reach out. Basil and I are going to reach out to the kids in our studio audience and say, well, let's start with Donald. Okay. Hey, Donald. We're not really supposed to say that after we reach out to this person, are we? Basil said, it's the name of the show. Or, to quote him first, he said, name of show. Said, yeah, it's the name of the show, isn't it? So, alright, so we're going to reach out through the magic mirror. I don't know which side I'm supposed to look in, the back side or the mirror side, probably this side. And I'm supposed to say, hey, Donald. Okay, so that's our first shout out on Basil's new Romper Room-ish show. Okay. Who else? Okay. Comes our second reach out from Basil's Romper Room-ish show, which he so aptly named Romper Room. Said, call out is to Steve. Basil said, 40-second dusting job coming up. Hey, Basil said, get your tail out of the way. You're blocking the audience view of me. Okay. Basil said, yeah, it is Steve Bannon that I'm reaching out to. We're reaching out to Steve, and specifically Steve Bannon. So do your job, co-host, interpreter, and chief gopher. Well, one more in the audience, apparently. Okay, Steve, here's a big Steve to you. Okay. Now, she used to do 3 in each show. She used to do 3 reach outs in between the other stuff that she had going on in her show. So, who else? Okay. Basil says he wants to, well, I'll let him tell it. Says I want to shout out to a little bit off waspy name, and it's a guy that we had as a call-in last week or the week before, one or the other. Okay, you want me to? Okay. Here's a big Romper Roomish Orenthal James. Can't mention last names, can we? Basil said, meow, meow. Meow. Said, yeah, as long as they're not trademarked. Okay. Well, I've already said the first name and the middle name, Orenthal James. So, okay, I'll do it. Simpson. And that's our Basil BuddhaCat Rumpus Room or Romper Room or Romper Roomish or Romper Room show. And we'll see you next Friday night. Have a blessed Sunday morning, and I guess we'll be home hopefully because they've taken our entire studio right on down to Stephen Colbert, Drew Carey, LFFF to us, and Bill Murray up in the hammock. They brought that right along with us. So have a blessed Sunday morning, and we shall see you back from Bethel, Connecticut on Friday night. So a blessed Sunday.
They say they'd rob your grandma blind on Wall Street, fritter her away her Medicare on Wall Street. And Pharma Oil and their pet fox don't care if she lives in a box, so long as they wear platinum jocks on Wall Street, Meow.
I got chased back into the room. And apparently, somebody actually is watching the show because the censors are ready to jump in on us at any time. So we better get out of here before the censors get in here and nab us. And you know how censorship is in China. Have a blessed Sunday from Basil BuddhaCat.